Hey everybody, and welcome back to another part in my dialing in series for our Line 6 Helix. I've had a number of requests over the last little while to take a crack at dialing in the Cartographer amp, which is, I believe, Ben Adrian of Line 6, his amplifier. Now, this has been a funny one because when it first came out in the whatever update that came out in, I can't really remember what other amps were with it at the time. I'm drawing a blank on that. But I remember trying it really fast and kind of going, it wasn't really my thing. And I never really kind of went back to it because there was something else in that update. Was it I can't remember what it was now, but that kind of struck me as being what I was more interested in. So I kind of focused all my attention. I never really got back to it, but I kept reading in the forums how so many folks this was their go-to amp and they were raving about it. And, you know, it's funny, I just got busy with other things and never got back to it. So I thought it's about high time that I man up and stop being such a baby and see what I can do with the Cartographer. And one thing is I have a sneaking suspicion of why I didn't like it and what I can do to get it kind of more in the ballpark that I would like. Again, it's just all personal preference, right? So by no means am I always right about any of this stuff. It's so open to interpretation, right? So I did do a tiny little bit of messing around for about a minute and a half with this just before the video, just to sort of see what the controls were and everything. So let's dive right into HX Edit. I have my normal template up here, as anybody who watched my videos, you know, is used to. Got my room reverb, little touch of that, just some parametric EQ with the highs and low cuts set, normal compressor I have at the end. So we'll just leave that, and I'll pull up the Cartographer. Where is it here? All right, there, and just sort of see what we have. Oh, I'm sorry, I want amp and cab. So that's paired with the 412 Uber V30 409 dynamic. Now, my first inclination is that this is probably why I didn't like it when I first tried it, because I really didn't give it a chance, to be fair. I was totally unfair to the model. Not my favorite mic, probably not my favorite cabinet, but let's see what we got, okay? So if I just pull it up with a little bit of verb, the high and low cuts, nothing happening on my split crossover. Those are just set to 0 for now. Maybe we'll use them, maybe we won't. And a touch of compression, we'll see what we have. And see, that's what I kind of remember. There was a bit of a graininess to this that I wasn't too crazy about. Just, you know, it just didn't have what I was looking for. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to change this just over to an amp, and I'm going to not use the cab that was sort of default setting for this. I'm going to come in and try maybe a couple other cabs here with ribbon mics, like I really enjoy doing. One of my favorites is the 212 Interstate. Some volume. Not too bad. Let's go with a... See, the matchless cab is not too bad. Let's try a Who-Watt 100 here. I think I kind of like that. Let's go with that. 121 ribbon or maybe a 160. I'm going to go with the 121 ribbon just because there's a certain little subtle thing going on in the high end here that I want to try to tame. So let's go with that. Let's go with the Who-Watt 100 cab. And now let's dive back over to the amp and see what's going on. Now, what we have here is drive 2, bass, mid, treb, channel volume, master, presence, depth, bright 1, bright 2. I really don't know what Ben was thinking when he modded this amp and then created it. I don't know what these controls do. Haven't read about it at all. I'm just going to go kind of fly by the seat of my pants here and react to what I hear when I do them. So first thing I would like to do is hear how these drive controls affect things on their own. Okay, so with drive 2 turned down, we get nothing. Isn't that interesting? Okay, so we need a bit of drive 2. Okay, let's bring drive 2 to 5 and crank drive 1. And then let's do the opposite of that. My first reaction is that drive 1 seems to be the slightly smoother drive. Maybe I'm wrong about that. This is all first reaction stuff. Maybe drive 2 has a little bit more of the harshness or the higher end that maybe I wasn't liking. Again, let's... I think that's right. But anyways, we'll get a balance on those. Just to get a feel for what's going on here. Let's see how the bass reacts. A nice, subtle, usable tone stack on this. Treble. Doesn't seem like I mind the trebles right up there. Let's see how the master does on this. Let's just pull these back, crank that up. Dime everything. Obviously, it's kind of muddy and woolly at this point, but wow, there's lots of... Pretty beefy. I like it a lot more with this cabinet and this microphone, although this still needs a lot of work. Just kind of get a feel for what's going on here. Okay, cool, nice. See what the presence does. Okay, so there's a lot of what I'm not crazy about. I'm gonna go easy on the presence. Let's see what depth does. Adds a nice beef to it. That's pretty interesting. Okay, what are the bright switches doing? Nice, subtle, not too crazy. Very nice. I like what those do. Just by doing that, I'm going to go back to this for a second. Wow. Okay, I'm starting to like this amp model. I see what everybody was talking about with it. This is great, really interesting. Okay, so let's create some snapshots here. I'm gonna stick with the tone stack kind of how I have it. Maybe just see what happens if I roll a little bit of the presence in. Go back to just kind of... Okay, so let's do this. Let's name some snapshots here. We'll start off with clean, and like I oftentimes do, push, we'll call it overdrive, and then we'll do a fourth one, which is just distortion, kind of lead sound. Okay, so let's right off the bat here, enable everything for snapshots, just in case we want to mess with those a little bit. Okay, so let's see what we can do for clean here. See how clean we can get this. I think I'm going to probably have to get that channel volume up. See how much the master is affecting things here. Still some breakup on that. How low can we go with the drives while keeping the master up and still get some volume out of it? Let's check it out. Okay, obviously we've lost a lot of... That depth control is really interesting. I'm just going to come out to my output and snapshot enable that as well. And just give myself a little more output here for this. Neck pickup. Dry switch engaged on the Yamaha 620. Middle position, dry switch engaged. Dry switch off. Wow, I'm liking that a lot. That's really nice. Okay. All right, nice. Let's leave that for our clean. Very good. Okay, so pushing it. Now, what I'm gonna want to... everything's popped back here. So where were we at? Kind of the same. Okay. Okay, so now to push, I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come in and grab the master and then start rolling our drives in. Again, this is going to be personal preference, how much you want that second snapshot to drive, right? Some people are going to like it a little bit cleaner, some people are going to like it a little more nasty, right? That there's a neck pickup, middle position. Dry switch on. Still cleans up nice though. I'm liking that. I'm going to do some work on this with the EQ later. Let's just see what our volume balance is like between... The push maybe jumps up a smidge, right? But that's already set to drop down. It's not bad. I could probably... You guys can balance this yourself to your own. That's probably not too bad there. Okay, let's move up to the next snapshot. And again, these are all going to kind of default much higher. I'm going to keep that master up at 10 again. I'm not really touching the tone stack. I was kind of happy with where that was, although I do want to make sure that that depth control goes back to where it was. Cool. Okay. The bass, I think it was up a little more. Okay, so on the push channel, we were at around 4.5 on the drives. I'm going to keep that master up. Let's push this up into, I don't know, 6.5, 6.5. I'm just keeping these the same, but obviously there's so many possibilities here, right? I'm really liking that. That's not bad. And again, you know, how much overdrive do we want? Well, that's going to be up to our personal preference. Here's the push. I think that's a nice jump from kind of, you know, broken up to more overdriven. Not bad at all. I don't know if we need that have to be boosted. I think we do. It's kind of almost compressing a little bit more. Nice. I have no problem with that without really even touching the tone stack at all. I'm going to deal with some EQ issues after I'm done down these. And okay, let's go up to distortion. Let's see what we've got here. We'll keep the master at 10. I'm going to start off with these right up around 8.5 maybe. Again, this is going to be personal preference, how much we want here. That's pretty overdriven, but it's kind of got a nice nastiness to it that I kind of like. What happens if we pull that depth back up to where we had it? I'm actually going to pull it back just a hair. I know we had this higher. I'm going to keep those a little lower for this. There's a lot of beef here to begin with. Man, that's not bad at all. Let's leave it there. For that, let's add some delay in. I know this is my normal setting. Neck pickup. Middle. Dry switch. very nice stuff. I'm fine with that delay. I always kind of go to this transistor tape. I mean, we could do a bunch of other things, but everybody's gonna have their own personal preference for that. Okay, so let's come over here to our EQ. There's still a couple things I would wanna do to this to kind of make it sort of master ready or performance ready or recording ready, right? Like I oftentimes do, I wanna open it up, the sound up a bit, and get rid of some of those low, mid, muddy frequencies. So let's come in around 430, Q of 1.2, and just dial it a couple dB. Even 3 dB. Come into maybe 4,500 hertz, Q of around 1.4, and add in a couple dB. Kind of like in that, I don't think we really need a lot done to the bottom end. It's kind of nice. Let me add 1 more dB up there. Let's leave it there. Again, personal preference, right? You guys can sort of see what the effect of those EQ changes I'm making or having, and if it's something you don't like, just dial it in different, right? Pull that back to only 2 dB, add another dB if you find it you want it a little bit brighter, right? A little less mud, roll that back another dB in the 430 hertz range, you know? Let's see how that EQ being added to all of our other snapshot sounds now, right? So I think it's gonna be okay. I'm kind of looking at this more of like a mastering thing for all of the snapshots. So back to our clean. Right, with that EQ off. A little more clarity and brightness here, right? So I'm fine with that on the push. EQ off. See how it just opens the sound up. Gives it a little bit more clarity, right? Overdrive channel. EQ off. It's almost just too full in the low mid, right? And we already know what it sounds like on our distortion channel. I'm liking that, guys. I don't know. I hope you guys do. I think that's a pretty usable 4-snapshot preset of an amp that I kind of maybe was a little too quick to write off. And I think a lot of it had to do, like I said, with the cab. I wasn't crazy about the cab that was paired with it. And again, that's just what does that mean? That's my one opinion, my personal preference, which is really meaningless in the grand scheme of things, right? Everybody's going to have their own feelings towards that. And some people might have loved it with that. And that's wonderful too. You know, we're all going to come up with different things. So I never, like I've said a million times, want to pass off that, you know, my way is the only way of doing things or anything like that. I'm just sort of reacting to these on a whim and coming up with something that I think works well. All right. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. I'm going to have this up on custom tone as usual for you guys. Really appreciate you guys tuning in. Appreciate all the kind words and comments. Please like the video, subscribe if you haven't already to the channel. I'm going to be planning on lots of new content. Hopefully that's going to be interesting. That's the goal anyways. Yeah, and share the video if you enjoy what I'm doing. And again, I really appreciate everything. And I'll be back soon with some more content really in the very near future. Thank you guys again for tuning in, and ciao for now.